everyone, Cherie here with you today, this time with a Traveller's Notebook spread. I'm going to be using some beautiful things from Kerri Bradford Studio. All these little bits and pieces here are from a Traveller's pack called Splendid, which you can download and then print out on your own computer and printer, which I think is fantastic because you can print out as many copies as you like to use. I've also got a selection of the Kerri Bradford Studio stamps, which I've already picked out a few bits and pieces that I'll use. There's actually, I can't believe I'm using so many sets, but they all seem to have something that I can use on this spread. I've printed out a little bit of journaling as well using my computer, and I've already cut my two little pages down to size. And I've got my photos there, my inks are ready. So I'll get started and be back in a moment. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to begin work on the left-hand page. So out of the Traveller's pack, I've got that lovely floral rectangular label, and I'm going to stamp the word love into the middle of that one. Now that stamp's from the XO stamp set. I'm going to make sure I get lots of ink onto this stamp because it's quite a solid image. So lots of ink, and I'm going to make sure I press it down really well to get that nice coverage. And I'm really happy with how that one came out. So I'm going to tuck that in above my photo. And I'm going to grab another stamp, and this one says love these people of mine, and that's from the Oh Yeah stamp set. So I'm going to do a test stamp onto some scrap paper first, since I haven't used this one before. And then I'll stamp it onto some scrap cardstock. And I'm going to just use my scissors to cut that into a strip. I'm planning on layering this one just along the edge of that love word. So cutting that one out, and I'm going to cut a little fishtail end into one end of that strip as well. So I'm just going to position that one there. And I'll pop that off the page a little bit too with some foam tape. So I'm just going to grab a foam square, cut it in half to make some thinner strips, and pop those on the back of that. So I'll stick these pieces down now, just using a tape runner on the back of the photo and that rectangular piece, and pop those ones into place. And then that little strip can just go on to that top area there, just overlapping that love word. Now underneath that, I'm going to use these stamps here. This is from a stamp set called Line by Line, and I've got 3 stamps out of the pack. Above the line it says happiness, and underneath it says love everything about this. So that's gone under the photo there. Now I thought it needed a little pop of yellow down the bottom just to help balance that page out. And that first rose was a little bit too big, so I've gone with that second one, and I'm going to pop that on with a little bit of foam tape. Now this camera I already had stamped up, and that's from the Go stamp set. I already stamped that onto some white cardstock and cut that out, so I've just added that with a little bit of foam tape as well. And now I'm going to start work on that second page. So my photo is going above the journaling that I printed out on my computer. I've got a strip from the Traveller's pack that I'm going to stick across the bottom, so I'll just trim that down to size, and then I can stick that one on. So it's a little bit out of shot there, but I'm just going to use a tape runner to stick that one on, and then I can stick my photo down as well. It was a lovely breakfast that they made me on Mother's Day. It was delicious. Alright, so now I'm going to add another stamp just underneath that photo, and this one says Happy Day, and that's from the Nowadays stamp set. So just popping that one on there, and that stamps up beautifully as well. So above the photo, where it's quite white at the moment, it's a very blank area, so there's a stamp that says Eat, and that's from the Go stamp set as well. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Up stamp pad, and the colour is Daffodil Delight, and it seems to match those roses out of the Traveller's pack perfectly. So I've stamped that onto some white cardstock, and then I'm going to use my, I think it's a 1-inch circle punch that I used, and that just gives a nice border around that stamped image. So just a lovely white border there. So that's going to go at the top right of my photo, and because it's so white in that area, I wanted a little bit more colour, so I've gone with the little black label out of the Traveller's Pack, and that's just going to help form base for that stamped image. And then there's also this word from the Traveller's Pack that says noteworthy, and that's got a black background. So first of all, I'll staple that eat image onto the page, and then I'll add that nowadays strip with a little bit of foam tape as well. So again, I'm just going to use a foam square and cut it in half to make thinner strips, and pop that on the back there. And on it goes. So now I'm just thinking what else I can add to this page. So I'm just looking through my stamps again. And in the XO stamp, there's this outline of the XO word, so I'm going to stamp that in that bottom section there. So I'll just do a bit of a test stamp onto some scrap because I haven't used this one before, and then I'll stamp that image underneath my journaling. On it goes. Now, just for fun, there is that white area up the top of that page still. So I thought I probably could have left it like that, but I've got all these stamps here. It was too tempting not to use another stamp. So I found a heart out of the XO stamp set again. And what I'm going to do is stamp it up that top corner, and I'll stamp it 3 times without re-inking, so that as the image goes up the page, it's getting lighter. So you can see that there, the images are lighter as it goes towards the top. And then I just need to add my date to the top of that left page. And then I think we're done. Okay, so I've now finished those pages and have stuck them into my traveller's notebook. Before I did that though, I decided just to add a little tiny bit of stitching at the top left, bottom right of that photo, a bit of messy thread behind that rose, and on the other side a little bit of stitching on that photo there, and I've also stitched along that pattern strip. And that just finished it off. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I put this one together today. I'll pop a link to Kerri Bradford Studio down below. Please let me know if you've got any questions, and I'll be back again very soon with another video to share. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.